Hello and welcome to Out and About. I'm Diane Gonzalez. Kids in Lincoln have many opportunities to participate in sports, the arts, and other activities. It can be difficult for parents to sort out all the options. That's where LinConnect can help. This Youth Activity Expo is coming up November 15th at the Lancaster Event Center, and here with the details are Dave Manerick with the Nebraska Sports Council and Jeff Mull from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Thank you both for being here.
You bet.
Thank you.
You have 4 kids, you have 3 kids, they're between the ages of 6 and 16, so you are kind of the target parents for this event, isn't that right?
Very much so, and that's kind of where the event came from. The idea for the event was Jeff and I talking, and Russ Myers, another friend of ours that's a colleague here in town, had kids, at the age where they were looking for activities. They're active kids, sports, music, the arts. Where do you go? What do you do? There's publications out there and websites, but we felt like, the opportunity to talk to the people face to face is the best way to get good information on what the activity is about, what the mission is, what the process is. And so the idea for a place, in this case a fair basically, where the organizations that have activities, that offer activities for youths, could all come and be present at a booth, and the parents could make the rounds, talk to those that they felt their children might be interested in, have the kids with you, let them see things, maybe even experience things. Would be a great way in a one-stop, one-day shop to kind of get the information you're looking for about those activities. So that's where LinConnect came from. It's connecting parents, basically, families with activities that are available in Lincoln.
Now, Jeff, last year was the first year. How did it go?
I thought last year went off really well. I mean, we had a lot of really good feedback from our exhibitors as well as attendees that were there. There was 1 or 2 particular individual groups, sporting teams and clubs, that had reached out to us afterwards and said they had so many new faces presented to them during the fair and exhibit that this was a great way for them to get to know it. And you mentioned the kids that we have between our 2 families. I mean, you have 7 kids, and they're all over-programmed right now. They're in club activities. They want to be in the arts. They want to play an instrument. They want to just be active. And the whole mission of the Nebraska Sports Council is to have healthy promotion of those types of activities. So it was a natural for Dave and his team to pick it up and run with it. And we're excited about the second year.
How many booths are you expecting to have this year? I know you're still taking applications to be an exhibitor, but how many are you hoping to have?
Well, last year we had, I think, right around 3 dozen, so about 36 organizations represented. This year we think we'll double that. We're well over last year's total already. And so if we get in the neighborhood of 60 or 70 activities organizations, it'll be another step in the right direction.
And this is something that can continue year after year and keep growing, right?
Yeah, I see no reason why not. And what's neat about this is it kind of follows the growth pattern that our community has. We have so many new bodies coming into our community, so many new families and employers. This is just an addition to kind of the wellness and the quality of life aspect that the city promotes. So there's no reason why this can't continue. We do need people to come out and enjoy it and experience it, put a ball in their kid's hand. I actually fly fished for the first time last year, got a chance to cast the rod, and it was just so much fun to be an interactive part of.
Tell me, you've got something new this year called the Demonstration Zone.
Yeah, we are using about half the space we have available for a demo zone where each of these organizations will have, I don't know, between 10 and 20 minutes, most of them, to get up and talk about what it is they do, what it is they promote, and if it's applicable, they'll do a demo or have one of their kids that are taking part in their organization or several come up and demonstrate so that people can get a good look at it. And we know that's going to be popular. It was one of the suggestions that came out of last year's event. So that'll be a popular part of it. And then the other thing is, there's a ticket to get into the event, but you can get tickets at any Lancaster County Casey's this year for free. So as long as you visit a Casey's, you can pick up a ticket to come to the event.
Otherwise, it's $2 for adults, free for 17 and under, but all the money that comes in will be going to a great cause.
Yeah, we use all of the admissions income from that event to go to our Adopt an Athlete Fund, which basically allows for underprivileged families, youths, to participate in Nebraska Sports Council events like the Cornhusker State Games, the Pumpkin Run. We get around $10,000 worth of entry fees that go to those families and groups every year. So we have to keep putting funds there so that we can cover the costs of those people participating and no one will be left out.
Now, last year at the event, did you find kids who were maybe discovering things they might be interested in, and maybe they thought they wanted to play baseball and ended up doing martial arts?
I think I saw a little bit of that kind of all over the place. One of the things, we had a golf organization there allowing you to tee off and do some putting and different golfing skills. And I think there's a lot of kids out there that maybe don't have exposure to a simple game like golf. Tennis was represented. So yeah, I really think a lot of people walk out of there with their kids wanting to do 5 or 6 different sports versus maybe just 2 or 3, and it was a great enhancement of their life.
And it just makes parents all that much more busy.
It does.
Yes, so we hope it all goes well again. The Lincolnect Youth Sports and Activities Expo is coming up Sunday, November 15th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Lancaster Event Center. If you'd like to be one of the exhibitors, you can still contact the the Nebraska Sports Council and get involved in that. NebraskaSportsCouncil.com is the website to find out about Lincolnect, the Cornhusker State Games, the Pumpkin Run, and all the other great stuff. I think there's some mud runs and some other fun stuff in there that you guys do. So
You bet.
So great job. Dave, thank you very much for being with us. Jeff, you're going to stick around. We're going to be talking about some of the other great fall events coming up in Lincoln right after this.
This city isn't what outsiders think. Lincoln has always had the reputation of being a sleepy Midwest city, but not the type of place people think about living, especially young people. We've just never really been the place people dream about. That's about to change. It's time to change perceptions. Exciting things are happening in our city, big things. Our spirit has a renewed sense of energy and there's enthusiasm in our collective voice. You can feel it in the streets, see it on the skyline, hear it in the ideas of our young entrepreneurs and creative class. This might be a quiet, laid-back city, but it's buzzing with a flourishing economy and a rich, vibrant culture. Be young, have a booming career, raise a family. You can do it all here, and it just keeps getting better. We're the crossroads of blue skies and bustling progress, the sweet spot of balanced living. It feels good to be here, to be a part of it. In Lincoln, life is right. Now, it's time to let the world know.
Welcome back to Out and About. We talked last segment about all the fun things for kids to do in Lincoln, and there's more.
There's a
including
lot more.
Boo at the Zoo.
It's a busy time of year.
Yes, it is.
Things are starting to ramp up, and we're certainly excited to have Boo at the Zoo back in Lincoln, and 35 to 40 great trick-or-treat opportunities, all within the grounds of the Lincoln Children's Zoo. This is a holiday tradition. This is a family tradition. You get to see the wizard.
Yes, you get to see the wizard, and all the proceeds go to support the zoo and its wonderful animals. So,
And stay tuned for most of the advertising. StarTran will provide a shuttle. A lot of times you got to park off campus to get there. So this is one of those events not to miss each year. Your kids are never too old to go to Boo at the Zoo.
really.
Oh, I believe that.
Okay.
Believe me. I love it.
The Children's Museum is doing something special again for the kids who are having some health problems.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times kids that have health problems or recent surgeries or can't be exposed to those that might be carrying viruses don't get a chance to go out in public. And this is the one time for the Lincoln Children's Museum to give those kids an opportunity to enjoy a great event. The public is not allowed, only those that have those special health conditions that compromise their health and wellness.
That's a great thing that they do. We've got a couple Sunday with a Scientist programs coming up at Morrill Hall, October 11th. We're going to go to the Antarctic. You say it.
Antarctica. We're going to go to the Arctic to Antarctica.
Okay, all right.
There
all
we
right.
go.
I can say veterinary science. That's coming up November 15th. So
Yeah.
kids get some fun education at these great events they have at
Very
Morrill Hall.
hands-on activities, yes.
Let's get out and run at the Prairie Run. This is kind of a way to enjoy the prairie and get some exercise.
Yeah, a great chance to go out to Pioneers Park Nature Center and run the trails through the tall grass and support prairie restoration. All participants will be entered into a prize drawing.
Making Strides Against Breast Cancer is a big walk that comes up every year at Holmes Lake Park. What I like about this one is not a competition, and you only walk as far as you can. It's important that as many people show up to show their support.
No pets or bicycles, but wheelchairs, wagons, strollers, and walkers are all welcome. And you're out there celebrating survivorship in this great run-walk event that will take place at Holmes Lake.
If you are a real athlete, then you get to do the Good Life Halvesy. This has been sold out for a long time. This is a very popular event, but everybody can join in the watching folks along the route, cheering them on, and then participating in the festival afterwards.
Yeah, so much makes Lincoln a great running community, and I think it's the support that we have from the great people of Lincoln that get out and support the Lincoln Marathon. This event will start around Seacrest Park, end down at the rail yard, and touch just about every major attraction in the city. So it's a great tourism showcase. We enjoy what Ben Cahoon and his team have done with this run.
Absolutely. All right, let's go out to the event center. We've got Oktoberfest coming up, 22nd annual event to benefit the Nebraska State Stroke Association.
Over 140 beers.
Wow.
That's going to be pretty cool. Over 24 food vendors, live auction. Again, all the benefits go back to the State Stroke Association.
And make sure you have a designated driver, right?
That's important. Take the bus, take a cab. I don't know, can we say Uber these days? I don't even know.
I'm not sure. We'll check on that. Also, the big Arts and Crafts Show is coming up October 31st, and this is handmade items only.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that
that
is
makes
arts
it-
and crafts for the most part.
Absolutely.
Make sure and bring the kids. They'll have a painting booth as well as Halloween candy.
And now the Great Plains Art Museum is featuring cowboys from its collection, all kinds of iconic images of the American cowboy.
Yeah, and of note will be key bronzes from renowned cowboy artists Charles M. Russell and Frederick Remington, as well as some of the most recent photographic portraits by contemporary artists.
And we also want to mention Art of the Plains, which is the American Plains Artists' 30th annual juried exhibit. That show and sale runs through October 24th at the museum as well. Let's do some music.
Capital Jazz Series at Vega. What a great venue down in the rail yards, up on the second level of the rail yard. They've got some great jazz, the Patrick Brown Quartet, as well as Brian McCune and friends. A lot going on down there at Vega.
And at that big band event, you can bring your instrument and join in.
Any instrument
Well, I think it has to be within reason.
of big band.
I wouldn't show up with a grand piano.
Accordion?
An accordion,
Okay.
my word.
All right.
Nebraska Jazz Orchestra is featuring the music of Peter Buffard at its show on October 23rd.
Yeah, and he is a well-known NJO guitarist. A lot of great compositions and arrangements at this event.
LAFTA is welcoming for the first time the Claire Lynch Band, and these are quite the big names in bluegrass music.
Yeah, this is one of Alabama's best-known contribution to the bluegrass world. This is their first time on the LAFTA stage, so we certainly welcome those folks to the 7th Street Loft.
And in case you're wondering, LAFTA stands for Lincoln Association for Traditional Arts.
I like it.
I like it too. Concert coming up at St. Mark's. Huntley Brown is going to be doing a concert. This is free, but they're taking donations to benefit Clinic with a Heart.
Yeah, a renowned concert pianist and recording artist, Huntley Brown, will be accompanied by Don Paluski Crow. So just a great combination there of some great music, and St. Mark's Choir praises Unlimited as well.
First United Methodist Church also has a special performance coming up with the Lincoln Organ Showcase. This features Christopher Houlihan. He is still in his 20s, one of the brightest stars, kind of that new generation of organists.
Yeah, and if you read his list of accolades, he's been known as gifted according to the New York Times, dazzling according to the Wall Street Journal, and eloquent according to the LA Times. Still in his 20s and getting all those praises, bringing his act to First United Methodist Church.
The Omaha Brass Ensemble is paying a visit to Lincoln for an Aubin Music concert. It's going to feature exactly what it says, brass and percussion, fanfares, funeral marches, and a splash of New Orleans
I
jazz.
think they've covered it all right there.
I think
That's
so.
a pretty good offering at First Plymouth Congregational Church.
We've got some great local groups now we want to mention. These are groups that you can not only enjoy going to their concerts, but you can also audition to be a member of these groups. A lot of them welcome folks from the community to join them. And the first is the Lincoln Community Concert Band. They're doing a concert October 19th. They were founded in 1981 by the UNL Director of Bands, Jack Snyder, as a way to provide an outlet for folks who want to keep making music.
And this is a great chance for anybody to show up that has a musical background. 4 concerts a year, all free and open to the public, as you mentioned, and should be a great event. Jack Snyder, 1981.
Yeah, it's
That was
been
a
around
few
while.
years ago, yeah.
Just a few. All right. Lincoln Choral Artists is another group that does, it's an auditioned adult community choir, about 60 singers from Lincoln and the area. Their fall concert is coming up October 25th. And the Lincoln Civic Orchestra. Now, this goes way back to 1977. It's a symphonic orchestra that was formed on the campus of Union College. So Also community musicians from around the area. Lots of talented people here in Lincoln.
Yeah, it's
And,
a great opportunity. Take note.
We should get out and enjoy it. All right, Lincoln Symphony Orchestra has a couple concerts coming up. The first one will be a lot of fun for kids. They're asking people to wear their Halloween costumes to the symphony concert.
Yeah, enjoy spooky orchestra classics such as Night on Bald Mountain, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, and Dance Macabre. This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
This is going to be neat. The second half of the concert will be live musical accompaniment of Buster Keaton's silent film, The Haunted House. If you know anything about that film, it's a short comedy about a bank teller becomes involved in a holdup involving counterfeiters and so on. It's going to be pretty neat.
Well,
All
that's
in
the way
Lead
they
Center.
used to do those old movies, the old black and whites. They'd have the organist
Yep.
there accompanying the film. So kind of a throwback there on October 18th or 16th. That should be a lot of fun.
If they could pull a black and white screen over the stage, that way it's really going to look authentic at that point.
The Lincoln Youth Symphony joins the Symphony Orchestra on November 6th, and then we've got a world-renowned violinist who is also going to play that concert.
Yeah, this should be a lot of fun. They combine to open the concert with a dramatic overture from Rossini. The next world-renowned violinist Midori takes center stage for Korngold's Violin Concerto in D major and closes with Brahms' beautifully mournful Symphony No. 2. Did I get that right?
I think you got that right.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Also, the symphony concerts are at the Lead, and also coming up at the Lead, we've got Dracula.
This will be neat. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is the LA Theater Works production of Dracula, and it's one of America's premier theater companies returning to the Lead Center with a spellbinding story.
And it's radio theater, which is really, really, it's very fun to watch. How they do the sound effects and
Yeah.
create all the characters, pretty cool. A huge Broadway musical is coming to the Lead. The Lead really scored a big one here. This is the 2014 Tony Award winner for Best Musical. People have said it's the best musical ever, so Lincoln will get to be the judge.
If you're sitting on your hands at home right now wondering, how do we get involved with the Lead Center this year? This would be an amazing way to get back engaged with the Lead Center. A fun production, direct from New York. NPR critics said he'd never laughed so hard at a Broadway musical. Think about all the Broadway musicals that have been out there that have been somewhat hilarious or comedic. To say that says a lot about the kind of activities that Bill-
Producers,
yeah,
Spamalot, funnier than that?
right?
We'll see.
Yeah, Bill Steffen's done a great job with his calendar.
This is a great get for them. Now, the premier men's vocal ensemble Cantus is coming November 3rd.
It's among the finest touring choral groups in the nation, performing both traditional and contemporary selections.
And a country music Hall of Fame legend takes the stage November 10th.
Who knew? Merle Haggard, Lincoln, Nebraska, 39 number one hits, multiple Grammys. The guy's a country legend. Great chance to go out and see Merle Haggard.
There's a special show that's coming up at the Johnny Carson Theater at the Lead, and it's timed around the same time as Veterans Day. It's called The Things They Carried, and it's based on a book.
Yeah, and it's one-man show based on Tim O'Brien's best-selling book. His personal journey from innocent years in a small town in Minnesota to the jungles of Vietnam and back again. And again, it's scheduled to coincide with Veterans Day. Kind of a great way to kind of look back.
Absolutely, and there are a lot of local shows coming up. We want to mention, first of all, Sweeney Todd. This is the Omni Arts Nebraska production of Sweeney Todd. It's going to be at the Johnny Carson Theater, and there's some outstanding talent from Lincoln in this show.
Anybody you know, or just a lot of great local people?
Yes, but if I start to mention names, then I'll forget somebody.
That's right.
so.
This opened in Broadway in 1979 and won the Tony Award for Best Musical.
The Tada Theater is featuring the Addams Family. This is a new musical comedy based on that classic TV show.
That's right. Who knew that they'd try to get their daughter married? You know, they're trying to probably find someone creepy like the Addams Family. But she falls in love with someone sweet and young, and you can imagine what happens there. Great opportunity to enjoy the Addams Family.
That's right. Falling in love with the wrong person. That's kind of what You Can't Take It With You is about as well.
This sounds like a lot of fun. Now, I have to ask you the question.
Yes.
Do you know anything about this production?
Yes, I do. I have the great honor of playing Mrs. Kirby in this production, and Tom White, who does a program on this channel, Live and Learn. He plays my husband, Mr. Kirby. So,
Ooh.
yes, but we are the more the wealthy couple, and our son wants to marry into the crazy Sycamore family.
There's a lot of those sycamores.
They're very eccentric.
This production's been around in charming audiences for nearly 80 years. It's won multiple awards, Pulitzer Prize for one of these great productions.
Yes, it's one of the few comedies to ever win a Pulitzer. So.
And much like most of the theaters we have in Lincoln, the Lincoln Community Playhouse, not a bad seat in the house. So if you hear you have to be in the back row or on a side, you're still on top of the stage.
And this is going to be in the studio theater, so we're going to be really close.
Very nice.
So that'll make it even more fun. So,
Like it.
yeah, Judy Hart's directing. It's going to be we start rehearsal tonight, so it's going to be fun. Don't
ready?
miss it.
You ready to go?
I'm psyched.
Good.
I'm psyched. Haymarket is doing The Crucible for its youth production.
The Tony Award-winning drama focuses on a young farmer, his wife, and a young servant girl who maliciously causes the wife's arrest for witchcraft.
Ooh.
Should be a lot of fun.
All right, then they're going to present Urinetown the Musical. I have seen this before. It's got an odd title, but it's a very funny premise.
If you are politically driven, you may want to drive out to this one. It's a hilarious musical satire of the legal system, capitalism, social irresponsibility, populism, bureaucracy, and much, much more. Haymarket Theater, Urinetown the Musical.
And UNL's theater season is opening with Dancing at Lunasa. This won the 1992 Tony for Best Play. I saw a repertory theater production of this in the 90s, and I never saw the end. The tornado sirens went off, and the cast, the crew, and the audience had to go in the basement of the Lead Center. I've never seen the end, so I finally
Here's a chance.
get to see the
Here's a
entire
chance.
play.
It's good to have it back.
That's right. And Wesleyan's got a couple productions coming up, starting with the classic Thoroughly Modern Millie.
And this young lady named Millie wants to move to New York City, become a rich man's secretary, become a rich man's wife, and so on. Unfortunately, the rich man will not cooperate with what's going on here. This will be at Nebraska Wesleyan's McDonald Theater.
And coming up at the Miller Theater then, It's Only a Play.
You know, Nebraska Wesleyan does a lot of productions
They
every
do.
year.
They're 40 productions a year.
Yeah, and this is a great way to get involved, see the inside of a show business, and meet its erratic practitioners in this roaring comedy.
Lots of theater, a good fall theater season coming up. So hope you can make every show.
You know, this just might be the fullest out and about we've had
I
as
think
far
it
as
is.
this kind of content, but it says a lot for what the community is responding to out there. I think a lot of people want to be involved, so it's great to talk about it and give people a heads up.
Absolutely. And Lincoln.org is the website where they can find out all the details about all the great events going on in Lincoln.
Yep, pick the kind of event you want, go to our website, give us a call at 434-5348. That's our visitor center down at 7th and P. We're down there 7 days a week, so stop in and say hi.
And in addition to all this, it's football season.
It is. It's been crazy down there on Saturdays
Yeah.
and even on Fridays, so there's just a lot of great energy to have Husker football back on the calendar.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. And when we come back, Tom Lorenz will have all the latest from Pinnacle Bank Arena. Stay with us.
This city isn't what outsiders think. Lincoln has always had the reputation of being a sleepy Midwest city, but not the type of place people think about living, especially young people. We've just never really been the place people dream about. That's about to change. It's time to change perceptions. Exciting things are happening in our city, big things. Our spirit has a renewed sense of energy, and there's enthusiasm in our collective voice. You can feel it in the streets, see it on the skyline, hear it in the ideas of our young entrepreneurs and creative class. This might be a quiet, laid-back city, but it's buzzing with a flourishing economy and a rich, vibrant culture. Be young, have a booming career, raise a family. You can do it all here, and it just keeps getting better. We're the crossroads of blue skies and bustling progress, the sweet spot of balanced living. It feels good to be here, to be a part of it. In Lincoln, life is right. Now, it's time to let the world know.
Welcome back to Out and About. Tom Lorenz joins us now, and Pinewood Bowl shows are all wrapped up. 7 big success stories.
We had a great season out there at Pinewood Bowl. We managed to avoid the rain, and that got really difficult towards the end of the season. But we had a lot of new and eclectic things this year, and I think a lot of new people came out to the bowl, and we got very good reviews from everyone. So it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Lincoln, for all the support that you did for us this year.
And comedy went over for the first time,
We
so
did.
that was a big hit.
You know, a sold-out Jim Gaffigan show on July 31st, which was it was a warm night, but he did very well, and it was a little step out for him also. They don't normally do an outdoor venue quite like that. So it was good for both of us.
You wrapped up with ZZ Top, and that was a big couple of days for you because Shania Twain was right there with it.
We did ZZ Top last Friday night, which was the 25th, and it was a beautiful night out. You know, we had rain a couple days before, but Blackberry Smoke came out, you know, warmed the crowd up well, and then ZZ Top came out and did what they do best. That little band from Texas, those guys play some blues that just don't quit. And the night before, we had basically a sold-out show for Shania also at the Pinnacle Bank Arena. That was an excellent show, a massive light show. She's still a tremendous performer, you know, and she writes all of that music. So it was a great weekend with back-to-back sold-out shows, and a nice way to end September.
All right, we want to talk about at least one new announcement since you were here last, and that's Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey, and this is a circus that's different. It's called Circus Extreme.
It takes all the elements of circus and then even adds in some new things. There's some contortionists and some BMX riders and some other different, maybe some more modern elements. But you take the traditional, complete with elephants and all the other stuff, and put it together, becomes Circus Extreme. It is going to be a tremendous performance. Dates are June 3rd and 4th. We'll have some on-sale information here really quickly around November 14th. It's their newest edition of the circus. This is their 145th different production.
Wow.
So they've been around a long, long time. Look for some fun things. On opening night, there's an opportunity for people to come in early, come down, try on some of the costumes, interact with some of the performers, and feel like what it would be like to be down in, on the ring on the floor there. So it's a really exciting thing, and it should be a relatively traditional, and maybe not every year, maybe not every other year type thing. We really look forward to them coming to Lincoln.
I'm not sure I would want to get too close to the tigers.
Well, you probably don't want to stick your hands in there or stay, but you can get close to a clown and mess with them a little bit. So.
And you're going to have elephants at the arena for the first time?
That would be our first time with elephants at Pinnacle Bank Arena, so that'll be a fun component.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's talk about some other things coming up at the arena. We've got 2 more football watch parties left.
We do. Wisconsin's the next one, and they just announced the Wisconsin game time, so it's at 2:30 in the afternoon game time. We'll open up at least an hour before game, maybe closer to 1 o'clock that day. We've got some tailgate party that happens out on the stadium terrace every game, but then the watch party, and we had a great crowd for the last time when they came in for the opening for BYU. It was kind of a warm day. Kids were able to come down, play a little bit on the floor. Families came in. I took a picture. We had about 12 strollers lined up along the concourse. So it's a very fun atmosphere, a nice way for people to get in. They'll be able to come down and experience the rail yard and the Haymarket. That's for Wisconsin. And then our last game will be Michigan State. And we'll have Heisman House back from Michigan State.
Oh, great.
Yeah, Nissan Heisman House. This is the only venue in the country where they're coming back in back-to-back years. Nebraska has such a great tradition for Heisman candidates and Heisman winners, and so it's great to have them back, and I'm sure we'll have some Heisman guys there. They loved being here. The crowds were awesome, so look forward to that also.
Def Leppard and Foreigner come in October 11th. That'll be a fun show.
That'll be terrific. It's selling very well. Def Leppard has so many great hits, Foreigner too, and then we've got Night Ranger also. That'll be the opener. So it'll be a tremendous night of music. Lots of fun. Get your tickets soon.
All right. 3-time Grammy winner Darius Rucker is going to be here mid-October.
People know Darius from Hootie and the Blowfish, and so he had a great tradition with that. He's been doing country now for quite a while. Got a nice series of hits with that. We've got some great openers, David Nail and 1,000 Horses. It becomes a really good, complete night of great country music. It's nice to have some different artists. You try to see some of and Darius is definitely an up-and-comer. He's been really strong, got great name recognition, and it will be a quality show that night. So.
And now something different. The TLC's Long Island Medium is going to come in. This is going to be a different show. Is this selling well?
It's selling quite well. It's really surprising. Not surprising that it's selling well. It's just that Lincoln has really supported this. She is a little bit comedy, does some other medium type things, and it'll be a very nice night. They put on a beautiful show, and from what I understand, it's been selling great across the country. It's a little bit different kind of a performance for us, but it will work very well, and you can get your tickets at Ticketmaster outlets.
I think it would be interesting to see the audience participation segments where she connects with people from the audience.
Apparently, she spends a significant amount of time out in the audience. We've got carpet all through the aisles, and a lot of her show does happen right down on the floor. I mean, certainly some stuff's up on stage, but she really does interact a lot, and should be very interesting. And for those of you that have seen her on her TLC shows and know a little bit about her, it's an exciting opportunity to get up close to a big-time star.
Right. We've been talking about the NBA game for a long, long time, and it's been sold out for a long, long time.
You know, it really takes on more and more significance as we get closer. It's the last preseason game, so you'll see a lot of the starters play a lot longer time frame. We're starting to get the requests for media credentials and everything. It'll be highly covered with Fred. Fred coming over from Iowa State and now becoming the coach. It'll be kind of his first time in Iowa, or from Iowa to Nebraska as the Bulls coach. So, some great players are back. Love is back off his injury, and the Bulls have a real shot at the NBA title this year. So, it'll be an honor to have them here. The Dallas Mavericks are another great team. So we'll have it'll be, we do a lot of basketball, but this will be really, really cool basketball along with all the great Husker stuff we do.
And with the big success of this, of course, an extremely fast sellout, does that bode well for getting more NBA games?
Yeah, we're certainly talking to them already about some future dates. I mean, they know this market has, really supported this. They're going to love the building. We're already talking to them about media packages and everything else. So. I think we'll have that opportunity to do this again, whether it's every year or every other year, they'll be back.
Well, UNL basketball kicks in pretty soon, but Coach Miles and the crew are going to clear the court on December 4th for the Motley Crew, and one of my favorites.
They
Alice
will. We've
Cooper.
got, Connie and Tim will both be back, and, they're quality teams on both sides. Connie is just, coming off a wonderful, a strong year. Should have a couple players that had some injuries back, and so it'll be great. Tim's going to have some new guys out there, and we can't wait to see. They did really well as they traveled through Europe. But Motley Crue, this is a lot of bands go out and talk about their last tour, and then they do 5 other last tours.
Right.
These guys have signed a contract with each other, said this is it. I mean, this is where we're going to do it. So this is one of the last shows they'll be doing. We hope to draw people from around the country to come in and see them. It's a great setting. They always put on a show with pyro and video and all kinds of tricks, and then to have Alice Cooper be opening for them, that just makes the fun factor just that much better. And Alice, a longtime great performer, so it'll be a really hot night on December 4th.
And I hear he's a really nice guy and also a pretty good golfer.
Yeah, he's quite a golfer. He I guess at times he was a scratch golfer, and so we won't have any courses open for him this time.
Oh shoot!
The ZZ Top guy, one of the drummer, got out and was able to spend some time here on Lincoln's courses and loved it before they played. So unfortunately, December, unless we get a really nice warm weekend, we'll try to sneak him out.
We'll make an exception for Alice.
That's
We'll
right.
have a nice weekend for him. Well, Tom, thank you very much. We want to remind people PinewoodBowlTheater.com and PinnacleBankArena.com are the websites. Get your tickets for all the great events coming up at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
It's going to be a nice fall. We look forward to it. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Tom. That is all for this month's Out and About show. I want to thank all the guests we had today. Now, if you missed any of the events, stay tuned. We'll be running a list again right after this program. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you out and about.